Hello, hello, lovelies. Hello, happy Monday, happy new month. Oh, this week is jam packed with so much energies coming through to support us. Make sure you check out my Goddess Energy forecast for this week. Oh my gosh, it is a powerful, potent week. If you know how to work with the energies, you're going to be catapulted moving forward so beautifully once Mercury is out of retrograde. And of course, we have Pluto joining in with the retrograde too. So this, I mean, the word is transformation, diving in deep. This is like the key at this time here. So today I have an amazing, beautiful woman that I have been like looking forward to connecting with for a while. I have her on here to chat with me, and we're just gonna, like, there's a transmission that wants to come to, the funny thing, I wanted to say like transition, and it came in as transition. So we'll see.
We'll
see what comes through. So Safrianna, did I say your name right?
Safrianna, yes.
The tongue rolling thing.
You did. And I like that. I'll take that. I accept that. I received that.
Welcome, my dear. It's so good to have you. It's so good to have you.
Thank you. I'm so glad we're finally like connecting one-on-one, because we've met in so many different meetings at this point. We've been in a book together. Like, we've been collaborating sort of on this outer edge. So I'm so honored to finally just be face to face with you.
Let's see. Yes, baby. Is he downstairs? Yeah. I think he's downstairs, baby.
I love going with real life. That's half the fun of these.
That's how we roll over here.
That's how we roll over here. That's, my cats usually when I'm live, that's exactly when they stick their head under the door to my office and just scream at the top of their lungs.
Of course, right? Yeah. So, yes, remind me of the book. Was it
Raising Wild Ones?
Oh, for some reason I was thinking Awakening. So Raising Wild Ones. Okay. With Jessica. Yes.
With Jess Verrill, my soul publisher. And that's where we learned our natural numbers. You are a natural number 8, like my sister, which I just love. I just love knowing that. And I'm a natural number 9. And that was such a cool, transformative part of my life. That whole project just opened me up to so much. And I'm so grateful that I met you through that.
Yeah, that was powerful. I remember when I first learned about my natural number, I was like, whoa, this is so cool. Like, everybody should get identified. And
everyone should get identified. That's literally I'm a practicing partner with them now, because I believe it's such an impactful way to view human relationships. And, again, like knowing that you match my sister, it kind of helps me connect with you automatically on a deeper level than not knowing that. And I love it because it's simpler than like human design and astrology even, and all of that. Like it gets to kind of the root of the body-based face-to-face connection.
Exactly.
And obviously we could deep dive the cosmic blueprint and the astrology and everything. I loved you bringing that energy in right now, because, oh my gosh, eclipse season, Mercury We call it in my house Mercury and Gatorade.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Because we want to laugh about it. If we don't laugh, we're gonna cry.
I call it the cosmic siesta. It's like just the divine saying, hey, this is a time to just slow down, chill, get in that hammock, relax, and rethink about stuff and see if this is the path that you want to continue. It's such a beautiful time. It's like once you really get to know Mercury, you realize that it's not here to get us. It's not here to punish us, to break down our computers. I was telling my clients, I was like, if that happens, you're not listening. That means the universe is trying to force you to relax and get off that. Like it's like redirection. Like, hey, you need to stop that. Like, get over here. This is what you should be doing. This is what your soul wants to do. Yes. So, like I was telling one of my clients, I was like, if my phone starts glitching, I just put it down and I say, Archangel Michael, please don't let it break. Please fix it for me. But I hear you, universe. I hear you. I will put it down. I will go sit outside and then I'll come back and pick it up. And usually by the time I come back, it's okay. It's like nothing happened. So it's like a sign. And if we miss that, then, you get the phone completely breaking, the car not working.
Yeah, it's that, and it's so interesting, like you talking about this sort of just this pause in energy. Sometimes we just kind of need to clear it. We need to reset it, because I do a lot of parts-based work where parts of us will communicate through our bodies, right? And like one of my major signals that it's time to slow down is my left foot starts to cramp.
Oh,
and when my left foot starts to cramp, I go, oh, I'm rushing. I'm in the doing mode. I'm overdoing. And that is my body cue to just stop what I'm doing, sit down on the couch, take a few deep breaths, and like center so that I can come into things from that clear-headed perspective. And we've lost that as a society, these skills, these essential skills.
Oh, the wisdom of the body.
The wisdom of the body and of the spirit. And when we're not in the body, we're not in the spirit, because they go hand in hand.
Thank you for saying that. That's one of the things I teach. I'm very, and this is something that kind of is different for natural number 8. As much as I'm about the body and really feeling my body and knowing my body, the spiritual world is my world. That's what makes sense to me. And so that's my whole, like part of my whole mission is to merge those two. You cannot have your highest potential, all of that yummy stuff that we have in spirit. It doesn't matter if you don't know how to pull it in here and create it in your life and experience it within your life. And that's the whole point of it. That's why we chose this to be the house of it, and so I feel like there's a redefinition and redirection coming through where, those separation between spirit self, that we love, it's like, oh, I was a queen here. I was a goddess here. But it's like, okay, but how are you that right now?
Right
how
now.
Are you bringing that through? And that, if we can figure that out, if as a society, magic, just pure magic is going to happen. Even with the individual people that we get to lead through this embodiment, we can see that magic happening.
Yes, I have this, like, I guess we could call it a blueprint for time that I've been really, really working with over the last year, which is half nerd, half just cosmic, which is the Triforce, the symbol of the Triforce from Zelda, if people can picture that. And you've got the triangle with the 3 triangles in, and then this gap in the middle. And I see that as present, past, and future. And the gap in the middle is the now. That's the only thing we can actually experience is the now in that void space, which is when we become present to the fact that we're here in these bodies and we have these spirits and we have all this history and we have these incredible futures and future lives ahead of us. But all of that is experienced in the now. And so if we're missing that, we're missing everything. We're bypassing past all of it.
Yeah. And it also limits us, doesn't it? Because when you stand in the center, you have access to all 3. You have access to all of that. And you can pull from it at any time. I know for me, maybe it's part of my gift, But I was telling my husband this. I was like, when I meet someone, because he asked me, he's like, even if you don't know someone, you can still tap into them and know who they are, the highest potential. I was like, yes. If they step into my energy, if someone mentions their name in our conversation, it's like I can pull, it's like opening of the Akashic book when I meet someone.
Yes.
And we have access to that we can pull from every direction to create this now moment. It's not so that we can escape our bodies and go hide somewhere,
We sure would like to when, our current human experience is a lot of pain. It's a lot of pain. And, I'm working through about 4 years ago now, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, which, if people aren't familiar, is considered a sleep disorder, but I really see it as a trauma disorder. Yeah. I see it as, and just to drop in a credential here, I am a medical professional currently and by licensure as a trauma therapist. So I say this as a professional, but also from a personal lens, even though I'm leaving that life behind a little bit right now, that pain, chronic fatigue, chronic anything is typically our body's way of saying, like, you've been going too hard, you need to slow down, you're not in alignment with who you are and your higher purpose. You're not able to stay in your zone of joy, because when we get there and we're with that in ourselves and pain comes along, we're able to just suddenly align. Oh, I have this headache. I was sharing with Abigail right before we came on that I'm struggling with a headache today. If I'm like, oh, I can't do anything, I'm in this headache, right? I'm going to be miserable all day. But if I'm like, okay, I have this headache, what is here in this energy that I'm being called or invited in to do? Okay, only do what lights me up today. Like, we're not going to do any of the extra productive. We're not washing the dishes today. It's just not the day. Right? Like, fortunately, I don't usually wash the dishes. That's one of my partners. But, you get my point.
Yes.
Pain is a way to tune into what our body needs, what our spirit needs, what our emotions need. It's all right here, right now. So when we're not looking at the pain as an enemy anymore, but as information, it all shifts. So that's really what I'm going through and kind of reprocessing right now. And, I've been tapping today on the pain, and I went to float and just laid with my pain in the tank and just loved on myself. And that's what today's going to be about. Yeah. Happy Beltane, right?
Yes. Yes. There's a lot coming through. I love that you said that, because recently my husband has like this nerve pain in his left shoulder, and he's had it for a long time. It's from, he fell while, what do you call it? Snowboarding. Oh. And the surgery, the doctor did horrible. And so it's left him with this nerve pain constant. And I was like, have you like tuned into your body and like went into the pain and asked the pain to tell you its story? And also, better yet, how you can heal it? And he's like, I'm working on it slowly. I'm working on it, and it's like, just go talk to the pain. Like, what the pain is there, is talking to you constantly. Right. So you can go there and be like, I hear you. After how many years? I hear you. Let's sit down. Let's chat. Okay, what do you want to tell me? What do I need to know? How do I heal this?
Yes.
So I love what you said. Being with it, is all part of that wisdom of the body. I realized we just like jumped right in, which I knew was going to happen.
Yes.
Let's go ahead and introduce yourself so people know who you are.
So I'm Safrianna Lughna, co-founder of Living Luna. I'm known as the Queer Spirit Guide. That is the role that I'm stepping fully into right now. And I am basically just a person on a mission to uplift the others of the world. My life purpose is to celebrate myself and teach other people that they can do that for themselves, and in the process celebrate everyone and everyone's unique, beautiful differences. So Living Luna's slogan is uplifting the others. We are all about that. And I've co-founded it with my wife, Ikenna Luna, who is a therapist and musician, and we're doing so many cool things together. I am so excited to be in the flow finally of bringing my authentic vision to life, my passion to life. So
yes. Well, there you go. I was like, we got to do the intro because people are probably like, who is this
Who
magic
is
right
this
here?
person that we're just chatting with? Me.
Exactly. So
Hi, it's
let's
me.
talk about the transition. I'm seeing more and more people, and I feel like it's the energy that the planet is in helping humanity to do this. More and more people are beginning to step into what the soul really wants to experience in this lifetime. Like they've reached a point where it's like, you see there, I keep going down this lane and my fire is just gonna die out, or I follow this lane that just makes my fire just like explode and get really excited. And they've
Yes.
reached that point and they get to choose. And you have chosen, that like this is what I'm gonna be doing that lights me up. But coming from a profession, you're a therapist. It's not like you were doing something a little bit here, a little like you're a full-blown therapist. So
And I was a full-blown public school teacher before that.
see? So
like I've had 2 careers now that are like serious, professional. You have to have credentials and like letters after your name and certificates and this and that. Like And so now I'm taking this huge leap and I see it, I love you describing this fire because I see it with my therapy clients every day, how they are like the life is being sucked out of them by the traditional 9-to-5 jobs, by, codependency, lack of boundaries, lack of self-trust, lack of spiritual attunement, because there's so much religious trauma in the world right now.
Yes. Oh God.
And that is
started.
I know, right? Like, we could have an episode 2 on my channel.
We gotta do it.
That's those soul connection calls get a little spicy sometimes.
Good.
Because I get talking about public school, because again, I come from that background and it's a mess. And then just, this spiritual misalignment, because we've been force fed. This is the one way to believe. And almost every culture around the world, well, not every culture, every society, be very clear, every society has one of those, right? This is the right way to do it. And we need to dismantle that. And we need to be able to honor the cultures. Yes. The individual beautiful cultures, the tribes, the squads, the teams, the people that are coming together, the soul families. And we can't do that in the structure that's currently happening, because it's literally stamping people's fires out.
Hence why it's crumbling right now.
It is.
It's making this, I feel like the crumbling probably started 3 years ago, where it started to really come down. And we still have probably 20 years in this. So it's not like a quick crumbling, which would be very chaotic for us. It's like a nice, steady crumbling, and at the same time, a rebuilding happening. It's such a powerful, potent time that we're in. So let's go back to the transition, because I want to hear more about that. When did you decide to switch? What inspired you? How was that? Yeah, talk to me.
Yeah, this shift right here between therapy into the queer spirit guide, I officially made that call at the beginning of this year. So it was early January 2023. I did a plant medicine ceremony, and during that, shed the last little bits of my codependency. It was like the final push for that, because I spent literally all of 2022 working on my codependency, like in the meat. And so at the beginning of this year, I sent out my yearly email to my therapy clients, and I said, I might be pulling back from therapy at the end of 2023. I'm really thinking about it. I will keep you in the loop. I'm very trauma informed. I always try and give people like sometimes too much notice. Sometimes too much notice, I'm now recognizing. Because that just keeps things in a holding stuck pattern, which more on that in a bit. And so I started thinking more and more, do I want this? Do I want to make this transition? My tarot card for the month of March was death. And I very rarely pull that card. Like hardly ever have I pulled that card. And I was like, okay, so this is big. Whatever this is really, really big. It's the theme for the whole month. And I got really scared, which is what I do as a natural number 9. And like basically ripped the Band-Aid off, and I was like, I'm leaving therapy at the end of the year. And I like announced it to everybody. And then I was like, oh, crud. What have I done? Like, literally, what have I done? I jumped the gun on this. So I attended a few coaching appointments, went to a few therapy appointments, did some extra floats, like meditated more, did some retreat, like really sank into it. And this last eclipse, this solar eclipse, the date August 22nd came to me, and I was like, okay, August 22nd, that's the day. And I could feel it. I could feel the resonance in my body and my soul. And I started announcing it to clients that I'm going to be sending a letter either today. It's going to be today or tomorrow. It's probably going to be tomorrow because I'm going to celebrate today. I said, no productivity. We got the headache. That's my sign. Party today.
Making sure.
Thanks, migraine, for telling me not to do work. And so I'm going to be writing this email that just says, this is what's happening. This is how you can work with me. If you still want a therapist, these are your options. I'm going to design a whole like quiz. Yes. They can say, yes, I want a therapist. And then they can say, this is how I want help finding the therapist. Like, I'm going to take care of my people because that's what I believe in doing.
Yeah.
But I'm recognizing, or I started to recognize at the beginning of this year when I really started feeling into that tension, I'm not taking the best care of my people that I possibly can because I'm not taking care of me first. And if I'm not taking care of me first, this is what I preach to people. If I'm not taking care of me first, I can't take as good a care of everyone else or of everyone else.
Yes.
And the most important thing we can do to heal the planet is to take care of ourselves, to heal ourselves. And in recognizing that and peeling back that last little piece of codependency that said like, I literally one of my coaches called me on it. She's like, you think you're going to be abusing your clients if you leave them. And I'm like, you're right. And I come from a history of having been in DV relationships and childhood stuff. And so I had to work through that fear that somehow by me taking actual care of me, it was going to harm them. And it's not. And I'm seeing that now that I've made the official in alignment message. 95% of my clients are already making quantum leaps ahead because my energy isn't stuck anymore.
Exactly.
And that's been, throughout my therapy career, that's how it's been. I worked through all of my trauma history while being a therapist, being very, taking really good care of myself and having a lot of support. Unfortunately, there's a lot of therapists out there that don't get that done. And then they do a lot of harm to their people. That's part of this transition too, is I want to reform the mental health community. Yeah. It is not healthy as it is. And the insurance companies are doing harm by their clinicians and their patients.
I bet. Yes.
So that's a huge part of the transition. But yeah, I just want to help more people at once. And I want to really get into that mission of uplifting the others. So, like I've been meeting all of these people in soul chats and in books and all of these collaborative projects like you, right? I want to promote the heck out of you and people like you who are doing these incredible healing works in the world or creative works or, changing the environment, helping society heal, all of these important things. Like, that's what I'm here to do, is to say, this person's the real deal. Like this person is the real deal. They're working, they're not bypassing their stuff. They get in their fields, they communicate, they're authentic, they're human and divine.
Yes. Yes. Human. And you're speaking my language. I'm telling you, human and divine. And my soul mission pillar, human and divine, and bringing those two together. Yes. It is so, oh my gosh. You're speaking my language.
I knew we would. Soul sisters.
Exactly. I love that you're talking about the transition, because I feel like, especially on social media, people talking about, like, I used to be this and now I'm this and now I'm making a ton of money. Nobody talks about that journey of moving through. It wasn't just overnight. I mean, some experience might be that, but even that, there was a process in there that, led them to that. There's still a journey, like, okay, what do I need to do? The healing, the cleansing, the clarification, all of that is part of that journey. And it's not always easy. It's not always easy when we choose to do what we came here to do. And
it's the hardest thing we can do. I truly believe,
really is.
I get frozen in fear. I I get it. Like I get whole body stiff, like not breathing, slowed down, dissociated. I struggled with dissociation for years. I was diagnosed with a dissociative disorder. Like that's how prone to fear I am. So like I get it. And that's why it's so important to talk about it.
Yes.
And not just to sell and now you're going to make a lot. I'm not making like big bucks yet. In fact, this last quarter is my worst quarter of my life. Because I was making the decision to pivot.
Yes.
So I was not striving to make a ton of money because I was saying, oh, you want to cancel your appointment? Okay, bye. Like, bye.
Yeah.
I will take the break this week because I'm burnt out, right?
Yes.
So it's been a bad quarter for money, but a massive quarter for self-alignment and that authenticity. And again, the shedding the codependency. And like, to me, that's far more valuable. The joy of being in alignment and being kind to myself and loving myself and being able to look in the mirror every day and say, I love you, babe. Like, you've got this. Put your boss hat on. It's time to face the day, right? Like,
yes.
The fact that I can do that when I was this person who literally would get frozen in fear and had experienced, literally, if you look at a trauma wheel, I've experienced pretty much every trauma except for like war in my surroundings. Like I get it. Yeah. Unfortunately. And I mean, I had no voice. I was silent. I was shrunk. I was quiet. I was scared, like terrified. You know, I experienced active threats against me. And now I am able to, my word for 2023 is shine. Beautiful. And that's my personal word. And my professional word is transformation magic.
You're in for a treat.
Transition. Like literally, I'm walking this journey and starting to share about it because I recognize, again, if I can do it, yes, other people can do it. I want them to see that we don't have to shrink down. Yeah. As tiny and safe as we can. Like we can break free. We can choose something new.
Exactly. It is seriously like, thank you for coming here to share that story of you transition from, you know, something that is known in society to be safe and secure, you know, something you can count on to, I'm going to follow my soul path. I have no clue what that, there's no clue. I don't know if I'm going to be paid the end of this month or it's going to be next month instead. You know, it really, you know, I think entrepreneurship is a soul journey, to be honest. Like it takes a brave soul to say, I am going to follow my path, even though I have no clue how that's going to look like, what, you know, like all the stuff. It takes courage.
My poor mom.
Yeah.
So scared for me. She's constantly like, are you sure you want to leave being a therapist? Because it's a stable job with a paycheck. And I'm like, well, only sort of. That's only half the picture. But yeah, like that's that societal, like, this is how it's always been done. So you got to keep doing it that way. No.
Yes. And the pressure that, you know, it's like once you decide, I'm not going to follow the masses, I'm going to do my own thing. You know, you get the people who celebrate you, but majority of the people are going to be like, you're crazy. What are you doing? You're destroying your life. You know, like all that. And you're like, wait, am I doing the right thing? So you have to battle all these things to almost like create your inner fortitude. Yes. Where you get to the point you're like, this is what I'm doing regardless of what anybody says. I'm going to follow this because at the end of the day, I'm happier.
Yes.
I'm not losing my mind. I'm not stressed out. I'm not getting anxiety about thinking I'm going to go to work tomorrow. That I'm actually excited to wake up and work on what I want to work on. Yes. Like I get to choose my schedule. I get to connect with the most amazing people and I love it. Like it's a whole different ball game, right? But before we get there, it's like that journey of really get into a place where you feel good about your soul path. And when you share, you know, people like you sharing that transition is so important because I feel like more and more people are going to be going through this transition. Mm-hmm. And they need to know that, yes, it's not like heaven at the beginning. you still have to do the work, this work that comes with the walk-in, right?
Yes.
With the journey, but you will gain clarity at the end of the journey if there is an end, right? Because we're always working on ourselves.
I mean, and that's, as a natural number 9, like my superpower is literally being able to see all of the timelines and all the possibilities, and the fact that we're all unified. Like underneath it all, we're all unified. And the only possible end is if we as a collective mass one day decide we want to return to 100% unity and give up this form. That's kind of how I see it. And we don't have to. Like, if we can just learn to harmonize and celebrate each other's differences and not go to war over every little stupid thing, or have to constantly other people and marginalize people because we're afraid for some, like, again, societal, outdated, no one even knows why we think this way anymore, other than that it's been worked into our DNA. We got to release. Like, several generations from now, we could live in like a complete utopia where people can follow their joy and their pleasure and all of that. And we wouldn't have to go back to nothingness, but we could.
Right? That's the beauty of timelines. We get to choose. And that's also part of the beauty of being human. We get to choose. You get to choose which direction we want to go. And this is one of the things that, as a natural number 8, I have that vision too. I have that access to. That's one of the things. Is like, wait, that's not natural number 8.
There's a really cool overlap between 8 and 9. And I really want to do a series of talks like this, just with me and each natural number, to kind of like tease out the similarity, because 9 uniquely understands more about all of the other numbers because we borrow little threads from each. And so to tease that out, it just really excites me. Because again, like, I love celebrating people's unique differences and their superpowers and their talents and their gifts. Because even, 9s aren't superior. We just have a different job. And the job is to be the container. And in being the container, we're holding all of it. So we're holding all the other numbers. So of course we're going to borrow a little bit.
Exactly.
Of course, it doesn't make us better. Just makes us and that's so cool.
I love it. You have to do it because you're lit up talking about it. You have to do it.
It is on the list of projects that I really hope to lean into once I'm not a therapist anymore, right? And that's this transition. I am numerologically, can't say that word, astrologically, human design, like literally my blueprint is the creator. Like, I create. And when I'm not a therapist anymore, I'm finally going to be able to full-blown pursue my dream of being a fiction author. Like, I have so many stories I've been writing stories since I was in 2nd grade. Wow. And like, I'm so excited to be working with Jess, and, hopefully I'm going to be publishing fantasy, science fantasy. I don't know if you know Octavia Butler.
Yes, I do.
Like, I love Octavia Butler, and I write that sort of like contemplative science fiction, other, exploring all that stuff. That lights me up. I want to be able to do that. I want to make oracle decks. I want to have conversations with people. I want to travel the world. I want to uplift the others. I can't do that if I am capped with a schedule that I really can only work with 20 people a week max. Wow. Because at that point, when you're holding 20 people's trauma,
it's a lot.
It is a lot. And I don't think a lot of people understand how much it is.
Exactly.
But if I can work 5 hours a week and end up touching, 250 lives in that 5 hours, like, expansion. I will have so much time to create.
I love that you realize that your work, you're meant to touch the masses instead of individual, right? I'm the same way. And it's like, we can still do individual. It becomes very potent because now we're taking that massive energy and we're zoning in on one person. So it's just pure magic that happens. But for me, like, it got to a point I was like, there's so much I can do. Like, I can stand in front of like tens of thousands of people and just look at them and create a massive, like, it's who we are. It's how, like, what pulses through us. And it's like, when you make that change, is incredible.
Yes.
You know, you're like, oh
Yes.
my gosh, I can touch so many people, you know,
Yes.
instead of just one at a time. It's like I can do this on a bigger scale because that's part of
Holding
the gifts that we brought
space.
in. Yeah.
Yes. And eights so uniquely hold that space. Like it's a physical, tangible feeling with an eight. Like I can only imagine how beautiful. Like, do you do in-person events?
I used to, but it has been a long time
I
and
could
it's
just
coming
imagine.
in. It keeps coming in. So I
Well,
know, right?
maybe we got to collaborate on something because,
Yes.
like, an 8 and a 9, the space that can be
Woo.
held in that is tremendous because it's that
Yes.
bi-directional, right? The earth, the spiritual realm and the earth realm, and then the earth realm, the spiritual realm, and creating that duality. Beautiful.
Oh man, I can feel, I can see it too.
I use the term cosmic dance a lot. That's what it
Yes.
feels like, just this cosmic dance of the 8-9 energy. And yeah, like there's so much expansive possibility in that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you got me excited there.
That's what I do.
You know, one of my biggest visions that I've had for the longest time when it comes to my soul work is that, and even now, it's like the same vision every time. It's like I enter on stage and I come out and it's like a stadium and it's packed with people. And I begin to like chant, and it's almost like I have all of them saying Om, and it's like earthquake. It's like everything is shifting, they're shaking, and I just bring down the light, and it just like spread throughout them, and people are like falling down, and it just is so powerful. You know, like that. The first time I was like, how the heck am I going to do that? Like, you know, that was the first time, and now I'm like, hell yes, bring it on.
Let's
I can
make
do
it happen. Let's make it happen.
I know it's coming. The in-person stuff is definitely a big part of my work, and I feel like I'm being prepped for it, you know, energetically being prepped for it. And of course, my guides are like, you've been prepped for a while. You're just making excuses.
That literally today in the float tank. I do this chakra track in the float tank. So, you know, I'm in the sensory deprivation tank and they put on this track for me that does singing bowls for each of the chakras, probably about 5 to 10 minutes each. So I'll focus on each chakra. And when I got to the throat today, I just started speaking and I was like, Safrianna, I'm speaking for you right now. And I could hear my voice echoing off the tank walls. And I was just claiming everything that was for me and everything that's coming on this next stage of my journey, and just pulling it in and allowing it to be the truth, and using the power of the voice, you know, the natural number one, literally this power center of the throat, and letting it be the magic through the word being spoken. And when we can encourage other people to do the same, to use their voice, right? Like your picture of the Om in this stadium. We have so much, I mean, I guess it's theory because we haven't seen it happen yet. You know, we have all these theories that it only takes a small percentage of people to make a massive change. And I mean, if we think about the fact that the 1% is 1% of people, yet they are having such a big impact, not necessarily in a good way. What if we had 2% of the spiritually aligned, like spirit, when I say spiritually aligned, I mean that on all levels, like all the physical, emotional, mental, spiritual are able to be in alignment. If 2% of people were able to do that, how much momentum would we build? How much change could we make?
Yeah.
Massive.
Exactly. Massive.
So even if you had an auditorium of people that just received the Om and used that power of their voice to call out.
Up and it's pure magic.
Pure magic. Opens so much vibration magic.
Exactly.
Oh, you and I are going to have more talks.
Yes, I was about to say we could talk for her, but Mama needs to rest. Okay, I'm hearing it. Your guys are like, okay, enough. She needs to go back and rest. We're getting too excited here. So yes, let's plan for part 2. Okay, let's do it because there's so much more we need to talk about and connect.
Absolutely.
But before we end this, is there something you have coming up that you would like to invite people to come in and experience
Absolutely.
your magic. Yeah.
Yeah. So a couple of things actually. I have paid experiences and I make sure I'm always offering something free every month so that people have an opportunity to just drop into some energetic work regardless of their budget. So I do have a sound portal coming up at the end of May that is completely free and people can find that online where they find me. Tomorrow, if you actually happen to catch this live or today or tomorrow, May 2nd, I am hosting Beltane. So today is Beltane. I'm going to be doing my own thing today. And then tomorrow I'm going to share Beltane with my online community, the Sacred Moon Circle, and we're going to come together to celebrate. It's a guided ritual. So you just kind of like get your own supplies. I tell you what to get, and then we kind of do it together and we're all sharing in this web together. I love doing rituals that way because you can feel the connection all across the world. Very cool. Yeah. And otherwise, like my biggest invitation to people is if you want a social space to hang out in that's just uplifting, we have like a cheerleading section. If you're having a down day, you just need a little pep talk, you can ask. But generally, we do keep it lighthearted in there while acknowledging the human struggles. We don't pain dump, but we acknowledge the struggle and encourage people to build skills to do that on their own. And that's what Living Lunas is all about. So if you want to hang out, come hang out with us. And that's easy to get to from the Living Lunas website. So
beautiful. So find the link above. Yeah, I think it will show up above. Find it above.
livinglunas.com. You can find the Moon Circle. You can find all of our socials, our Discord channel, our Facebook group, basically where we hang out and where we post uplifting content. And my personal role in Living Lunas is the spiritual woo-woo person. That's my crown. And we have others that are, more on the intellectual and research side and more that are on the musical side. And like, we just have a lot of cool, different people coming together to celebrate all these different levels. It's very exciting.
Beautiful. Oh, sweetheart, thank you for joining me this morning. We need to do it again. Okay. Go get some rest. Happy May.
Happy May. Happy Beltane. It's going to be a beautiful month.
It really
can't
is.
Wait.
Yeah. All right, my loves. Thank you so much for joining us live. Remember to put in the comments what you got from this. Also, feel free to connect with her. Don't be shy. Okay. Friend her, send her a message, go into her website, check out what she does. If you have any question about you transition as well from career to doing your soul path, you know who to contact now. Okay. All right, my loves. Thank you. Until next time, from our hearts to yours. Bye. Let's see here. There we go.